Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. And with no further ado, let's get into the week 9 recap. Starting back on Thursday with the Ravens at the Dolphins. And I mean this was a close game in the first half. Like the Ravens offensively weren't really the greatest, and the defense, was giving up plays. So Miami did have this close in the first half, but the Ravens took over in the second half. I mean, they look like a top tier contender when it's all said and done. They recently traded for Draymond Jones from the Titans to give him an edge presence. And we'll see what else they might do as the trade deadline looms at 4 today. But great win for the Ravens. I mean, they look like a great team. The defense, I mean, the past couple of weeks, the Rams game before the bye, then this game against the Dolphins, and the defense continues to play like this. I mean, they're a scary threat, and we all know with Lamar in the lineup, this offense is one of the best. For Miami, I mean, same old, same old. I mean, they finally fired Chris Greer, and they traded Jalen Phillips to the Eagles, so finally are going to move into a rebuild and hopefully move on from this current core they have. I would like to see maybe Mike McDaniel stick around another year. Maybe, I know he, Tua wasn't the guy he chose. So I know that, he kind of publicly backed him all these years. But, like, I feel like if you give Mike McDaniel a better quarterback, and I feel like, you give him a better GM also building the roster, I feel like the Dolphins could be a for real. So I just feel like maybe McDaniel can stick around for maybe one more year, but Miami, they're just not going to be very good, and they're going to be picking at least in the top 10, if not the top 5, at the end of the year. Moving on to the Sunday slate, starting off Bears at Bengals. I mean, what a game. I mean, give credit to Chicago. Caleb, once again, a great game. I mean, his two best games have come against the two worst defenses, so it's kind of hard to say, but he looks really good. This offense, despite no DeAndre Swift, despite no Luther Burden, they still looked amazing. Cole Kmet also got injured in the game. Colson Loveland, great plays. I mean, that touchdown at the end, breaking off that tackler to go for the game-winning touchdown was great. You would hope this defense would be better. Um, but it is a first year DC with Dennis Allen. Maybe hopefully they can get this improved. But in the NFC North, which is wide open after both Detroit and Green Bay lost, Chicago I feel like is a real threat with how well this offense plays. And if this defense can get back to the way they were playing earlier in the year, I feel like it could be a good um, team to look out for. For Cincinnati, I mean, what can you say? They recently actually traded Logan Wilson to the Cowboys, and we'll see if they trade Trey Hendrickson. But I mean, this is just a bad team. I mean, this offense is playing phenomenal, and apparently, going back to last year when they put up 38 or more points, they're 1-4, which is crazy. Because usually, if you put up 38 points, you usually win those games. So that's how bad the defense is. And I hope this team, this fit. I hope that Mike Brown finally makes the right decisions, fires Zach Taylor, fires the GM, and hopefully finally brings in people who actually can build this team up. Because Cincinnati is not competing with anything until they get the right people in place to build this roster to where they can actually be good. Moving on to an NFC North slash Vikings at the Lions. I mean, give credit to JJ McCarthy. You know, first two games he did not look very good, but I mean, it was also his first two NFL games, but he played really well. I mean, he was dicing up a Detroit defense that had gotten healthier off the bye, and I mean, he was making the right reads. He was putting the ball in the right spots. He looked really good. I mean, there's a reason why Kevin O'Connell waited until now to start J.J. McCarthy. He wanted to make sure he was fully healthy before he threw him out there. And I mean, 4-4, Minnesota season is not over. I mean, they have the Ravens next week. That could be a win. Um, so we'll see. But I think the Vikings team very dangerous. And McCarthy, if he continues to play like this throughout the year, Minnesota has a lock at their QB. For Detroit, I mean, this was a bad loss. I mean, off the bye, getting healthier on the defensive side, it felt like Detroit, everything was going right for them. And Green Bay lost, so they had an opportunity to win and be in sole possession of first place. I mean, this offense has not looked very good over these last couple of weeks. Um, I just don't know. You'd think off the bye, getting healthier, Detroit would have been better, but they just haven't. And honestly, in a season where it seems like no team is that great, I feel like it's a wide open year. And I feel like the Lions, had a shot to be 6-2, first place in the North, but they blew it. Moving on, Panthers at the Packers, and I mean, shout out this Panthers team. Last week you got blown out 40-9. You're thinking like, oh, the Panthers just beating up bad teams and not really able to be good teams. But no, they come to Lambeau. They were a double-digit underdog and they won. Rico Dowdle had another phenomenal game. I mean, he's looking like he should be the RB1, not Chuba Hubbard. Um, Bryce Young, did what he had. I feel like, you know, he just he just needs to play well enough. And I mean, this defense for how bad it's been at times of the season, it's clearly better than it was last year. Like making turnovers, I mean they forced this Green Bay team that had looked amazing last week against the Steelers defense to literally be shut down. Like they could not do really anything for most of this game. So give credit to Dave Canales, give credit to this Panthers team for fighting really hard after a week where it could have been like, hey, you know, we're just not going to be able to beat teams that are good, but they came on the road and won. And they played New Orleans and Atlanta in their next two games. Those could be wins. They could be 7-4 um, 2 weeks from now. For Green Bay, I mean, this is just like the Browns loss. Like you're the better team, but they just didn't look like it. And Jordan Love, for everybody saying, "Oh, he should be in the MVP conversation. He looks great." I mean, he has games like this where he just can't do anything. I mean, this defense, was making plays, keeping the Packers in the game, and the offense just was not converting. And then finally, when the offense finally scores points, the defense then allows Carolina to go down and kick the game-winning field goal. So I'm not sure. Green Bay, they're a very weird team. Like some weeks, they look like they could go and run to the Super Bowl. Other weeks, they look like they're gonna lose in the first round of the playoffs. Moving on, Broncos at the Texans. Um, Denver. I mean, they looked really good. Um, on defense, this offense still very much inconsistent, but hey, they got the win. You rather say, hey, we won the game. Let's improve this stuff instead of, oh, we lost this game. We could have won it. So hey, Denver, you're 7-2. Chiefs lost, so and they play the Raiders this week. They could be 8-2 before that meeting with KC. If they beat the Chiefs, they could be 9-2 through 11 games, which is crazy to say for a Denver team that has very much been inconsistent week to week. But hey, you got the win, and that's all that matters. Houston, another confusing game. And CJ Stroud, I hope he's all right. That was a scary play to watch. Um, but even without Stroud, this team they had the chance to win this game. Like the defense was stuffing Denver's offense all game for the most part. Houston just, kept on having to settle for field goals, not really getting the end zone, keeping the game closer than it should have been. They're 3-5. Now they have the Jags and Titans the next 2 weeks, so they could be 5-5 before they take on the Bills and Colts. Um, after those weeks. But Houston, I just don't think they're a playoff team this year. They just do not look like that great of a team on offense. And it really comes down to the fact that they just never tried to invest in this offensive line. And they just threw a bunch of guys hoping they would succeed. And so far, it hasn't. Moving on, Atlanta at New England. I mean, the Patriots 7-2, best record since 2019. I'm pretty sure. When they started off like 8-0 last year with Brady, but hey, give credit to the Patriots. Drake May has looked phenomenal. I mean, he looks really, really good. And I mean, hey, I really do think this Pats team can be a true contender. Now, I do want to see them, you know, in the playoffs when they take on really good teams, see how they perform. But hey, you win the games you need to win, and that's what New England's doing. For Atlanta, I mean, is Raheem Morris going to get fired? Is Terry Fontenot going to get fired as the GM? Because I mean, this Atlanta team, talent-wise, is much better than 3-5. Like they have the pieces on offense and defense to be a true contender. It's just, you know, it's just, the coaching staff just is not doing this team justice. Like, more so Zach Robinson, the offensive coordinator, like Jeff Ulbrich and Raheem Morris on the defensive side have done a phenomenal job to turn around the Falcons defense that last year was not very good. But this offense is just madly inconsistent. Like some weeks, they'll look like finally they're taking the strides to be a good team. And other games like this game, they'll just be, madly inconsistent. Like Penix had 3 touchdowns. Drake London caught all 3 of those touchdowns. And it's like you'd think that an offense that has so much firepower would be better, but they just haven't been. And I feel like the team needs to maybe move on from Zach Robinson and get a better offensive coordinator at least. Because this Falcons team is better than 3-5. They have the Colts next week, which, you know, unless Atlanta plays the way Pittsburgh did, Indy's probably going to win that game, and they'll be 3-6 through 9 games. Moving on to the Niners at the Giants. I mean, this Niners team continues to play well despite all the injuries. I mean, Mac Jones, once again, a phenomenal performance. I mean, I've been saying for weeks he should be this starter. Like he's played better. I know Brock's been injured, but like Mac Jones has played better in the 7 games he played than the 2 games Brock Purdy played so far. So like I feel like if you're Kyle Shanahan, just keep Mac Jones in and have Brock Purdy just be the backup quarterback. Because this offense looks better. The team looks better with Mac Jones out there. And yeah, I mean, Christian McCaffrey phenomenal game. I mean, he's should be in the comeback player of the year conversation, if not maybe offensive player of the year or MVP. I mean, Kyle Shanahan should be in coach of the year because of how great this Niners team has been, despite all the injuries. They're 6-3, and I mean they look really, really good. For the Giants, I mean, just another bad loss. I mean, this defense, which was supposed to be the strong suit of the team, like entering the year, everybody said, "Oh, the defense can keep the team in the game. It's the offense going to do anything." The offense has been the better unit, at least most of the year, and the defense just has not been able to do anything. They continue to just give up, so many points, so many yards, and I do think there is consideration for the Giants to fire Shane Bowman, the defensive coordinator, because of just how bad this defense has looked. But they're 2-7, and all you have to say is Jackson Dart is the future of this team. Moving on, Colts at the Steelers. I mean, the Steelers won a game where they forced a lot of turnovers. I mean, that's the way Pittsburgh wins games. I mean, the offense very bad. Just is not a good unit at all. But thanks to TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Cam Hayward, and this defense, finally playing up to the way they're getting paid, they finally look like a really good defense. And I mean, this was a win for the Steelers that you can say, hey, they won this game, but it's not like it's going to be a momentum booster. Like when they take on the Chargers, well, I know Joel is out for the year, but they'll probably go back to playing the way they have been the most of the season because they just give up a lot of points, give up a lot of yards, but they make turnovers. I mean, they turned the ball like Indy turned the ball over 6 times, and yet it was still a one possession game late into this game. Like that is crazy to say that the Colts almost had a chance to win this game despite turning the ball over 6 times. That just shows you that despite 6 turnovers, the Steelers almost lost this game. For the Colts, I mean, this was a gut check of a game. You hope the offense would have played better, not turn the ball over. The defense made plays when they needed to. Um, I'm sure everybody's going to be like, "Oh, Daniel Jones, we knew he was bad." Like it's like the same thing with Sam Darnold. Like everybody clowns the guy for his worst moments, but won't praise him when he has his best moments. Um, 7-2. They've got a game in Germany this week, and they should be 8-2. So this is just a game. You can just chalk it up, kind of like the Rams loss. You can chalk it up to bad luck and just move on because it's not really like the Steelers really won this game. It's more like the Colts lost it. Moving on, Chargers at the Titans. I mean, the score makes it seem like it was closer than it actually was. Like if it wasn't for a pick six and a punt return touchdown, this is a blowout. So give credit to Tennessee's defense and special teams for coming up with some big plays. But the Chargers, I mean, no Joel. He's going to be out for the year, which is sad to hear. Now both Slater and Alt are going to be out. So we'll see how LA's offense looks. Marion Hampton, I'm pretty sure, might be able to come back after now. It's been 4 weeks since he's been on the IR, so we'll monitor that situation. But this Chargers defense, one of the best units in the league. Um, and hey, a win is a win. They're 6-3. The Chiefs lost, and hey, they have a chance to be 7-3, beating the Steelers. And for a Chargers team that a lot has gone wrong for them this year, they still have a shot to win this AFC West. For Tennessee, I mean, it's just a brutal loss. they'll most likely have a fire sale. Maybe trade Calvin Ridley, Arden Key, maybe some other guys. Um, and it's just been a tough year. They're 1-8, most likely going to finish with a top five, top three draft pick probably. You just got to feel for Cam Ward and for this Titans team. I mean, just a couple of years ago, they were competing in the AFC, with a core of Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, Jeffrey Simmons, and yeah, this team might look a lot different just a couple of years later, which is crazy to say. Um, but hey, hopefully this bad year, hopefully if they get the right coach in the off season and they can start building this team the right way. Moving on to the 4 o'clock slate, Rams hosting the Saints. And this was a This was just a win. Like this was just a win where it's like the better team just dominated. Like LA looked amazing. Stafford had another 3 touchdown game, um and apparently that's the lead for most touchdowns with 21. I feel like he should be in the MVP conversation, though nobody really talks about him because of how good the Rams offense has been because of all the other players. But hey, a win is a win. I mean, they blew out the Saints. They're 6-2, first place in the NFC West, and hey, just gotta feel happy for this Rams team that is a Super Bowl contender in a wide open year. For the Saints, I mean, they're just a bad team. Like, I really don't understand why they benched Spencer Rattler. Like, I get they wanted to see what Tyler Shuck was, but it's like, why didn't Shuck just start at the beginning of the year? Like, I feel like the Saints kind of were like, Spencer Rattler's playing well, but we want to give Shuck a shot. And I feel like they just benched Rattler just because. And I mean, he looked all right. I mean, it really wasn't that great of a game from him. I mean, the Saints team is not great. Doesn't look like they're gonna have a fire sale because a lot of the veterans want to stay in New Orleans. Um, but hey, more losses get you to the top pick, and they'll more than likely just take a QB, and hopefully better days are in New Orleans. Moving on, Jags at the Raiders. Um, an impressive game for the Jags on offense in that fourth quarter. Without Travis Hunter, without Ryan Thomas Jr., without De'Ami Brown, and without Brendan Strange, 4 of their top pass catchers were all out, including Hunter, who's on the IR. And yet the Jags put up what 17 points in the fourth quarter. I mean, they really played well down that stretch. They're 5-3, so hey, a win is a win for Jacksonville. They have a shot to be 63 if they beat Houston. And I mean, if you're the Jags, you're just happy to get these wins. Like last year, they probably wouldn't have gotten this win. So it's good to see them get these types of wins where it's like the game's close and they just somehow find a way to win. For the Raiders, I mean, it's just been a bad year. 2-6, might be 2-7, depending on what happens on Thursday against the Broncos. And it's just a lost year. This Raiders team, I mean, doesn't look any better than any prior Raiders teams. And honestly, they just need to move on from Geno. I know they extended him, but they need to get a better QB in there. They need to just build out this roster. We'll see what they do with the deadline, with who they trade, and um, who they'll keep. But 2-6, I mean, the season isn't over for Vegas, but it really seems like this team just is not going to be good this year. And it's kind of sad to see a team that a lot of people thought could be competitive and win 7, 8, 9 games and at least show they could be a respectable team. Moving on to the Chiefs and the Bills. I mean, give credit to Buffalo. They always seem to win these regular season games. We'll see what happens in January when they play, if they play in the playoffs. But hey, the Bills win this game. Josh Allen, amazing. He looked efficient. Um, and yeah, the Bills were able to win this game. They were able to hold Patrick Mahomes to less than 50% completion percentage. And you just gotta give credit to this Bills defense for holding Casey, um, throughout the game, and give credit to Buffalo. Get the win. You're 6-2. You gotta keep pace with New England. It just keeps on winning. Um, and yeah, for the Chiefs, they're 5-4. They go on the bye, then they play Denver off the bye. So we'll see how we'll see how well they do against this Broncos team. But hey, I'm not going to count out the Chiefs because of how great they've been over all these years. But it does seem like maybe this might be the year where they just aren't that great because of the bad start, and it just might end up hurting them, and they finally have to go on the road multiple times and not have a home playoff game. Moving on, Sunday Night Football, Seattle at Washington. Seattle was dominant. You scored 38 points in 3 quarters, including 31 in the first half. That's crazy to say, but Seattle did it. The offense was great, the defense was great, the special teams played well. All three phases were great, and apparently Mike McDonald became the third head coach to start 11-1 on the road, joining Sean McVay and George Seifert, obviously two Super Bowl winning head coaches. So it's one thing to note. But Seattle, they've been great. They're 6-2 in a really competitive NFC West. They have the Arizona Cardinals next week, and then a huge showdown in 2 weeks against the Rams, where we'll see, um, which one of these teams might be the better one. But Seattle looks amazing, and you gotta give credit to how well this team has played after the week 1 game. Like outside of week 1, this offense has been great, and outside of that Bucks game, this defense has been phenomenal. So it's like if they continue to play like this, continue to shut down opposing teams' offenses, they're a real threat to win the Super Bowl. For Washington, Dan Quinn probably should have taken out Jaden Daniels after the third quarter. He probably should have taken all the starters out. You're down 31 in the fourth, aren't probably going to come back. You know, but at the same time, if a player wants to play, how are you really going to stop them from playing? But hope Jaden's good. Hope it's not that bad of an injury, and he's able to come back this year. Marshawn Lattimore's out for the year. Like McCaffrey's. Washington's been banged up with so many injuries, and it's just going to be a lost year. They have the Lions next week. Before going to Madrid to take on the Dolphins. Maybe they could get on a winning streak before um, heading to the bye, but this is just a year for the Commanders where it's like, hey, you know, you aren't going to be contending this year. They already have more losses this year than they did all of last year. And, you know, I think they just need to realize that they need to improve this team better to where they can get back to competing with the Eagles, the Rams, and all these elite teams in the NFC. And finally, Monday Night Football, Cardinals at the Cowboys. Apparently, Arizona's won 4 straight against Dallas and 8 of their last 9 against the Cowboys. And it seems like Arizona, no matter who's coaching and playing, they just own Dallas. Um, But I mean, this was a great win for the Cardinals. They lost 5 straight, all by one score. Like all winnable games. They easily could be 7-0. They're 2-5. Obviously, one and they're 3-5. But Jacoby Brissett looks really good, and I think kind of like just like Mac Jones. Like I think Brissett gives this team a better shot to win. Like I was saying with Mac Jones, and I know Brock Purdy and Kyler Murray are making so much money, and so the coach is saying, "Hey, we probably should have this guy out there because he's making so much money." But it's like you got to think about the locker room. You got to think about you know who gives this team a better shot to win. Jacoby Brissett does. I mean, the last 3 games since Brissett started, they're 1-2, but the offense and defense have played better as a collective unit than I feel like they did when Kyler was under center. And I mean, this game really emphasized it. I mean, outside of a blocked punt in the first half, Arizona dominated that first half and really dominated in the second half. I mean, the defense was making plays, the offense was getting drives go in and really playing well. And I mean, if you're Jonathan Gannon, I feel like you really need to say, hey, Jacoby gives us a better shot of winning games. So we just need to keep him in. I know Kyler's making so much money, but I mean, you got to think about who gives the team a better shot to win, and it's Jacoby. For Dallas, I mean, this is a tough loss for a team who just traded for Logan Wilson to improve the defense. Even though Jerry Jones said that he didn't think one player was going to improve the defense. So maybe he's trying to trade for multiple guys, but I mean, this is a Dallas team where the defense still is not very good. I know they did get a lot of pressure on Jacoby Brissett, sacked him a lot, did make plays. Um, but I mean, when this offense is not going, Dallas just has a hard time winning games. And this was a game where it's like Dallas needed to win it because they would have been 4-4-1. They have a couple games coming up where it's like they're winnable before they have a brutal stretch from I think weeks 12 through 15, I want to say. And this is just a brutal loss for a Cowboys team that needs every win to keep pace with the other NFC teams to at least be a wild card. They just do not look like they are going to be very good. But that'll be it for today's video. Hope you guys like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified for every video I make. And I'll see you guys later today when I'll break down all the trades from the trade deadline. Then I have my midseason predictions tomorrow, where I'll redo what my preseason predictions were. And then obviously on Thursday I'll have my picks. But until then, hope you guys have a great day and bye.